Having a hard time hearing? This device offers an ingenious solution. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and as you get older, your hearing loses some of its acuity. And what I notice most is that it's harder and harder to hear conversations in noisy environments. Now, you can just avoid going to noisy environments, but that's not very practical. You can ask people to talk louder, but they don't really want to do that, and then you end up having to impose on them, which generally people don't want to do. So, enter this. This is really cool. This is the Trihear Convo, and they call it a hearing enhancement system. So I'm going to open it up, we're going to look at everything in the box, I'm going to show you how it works. It's actually really slick. But first things first, I open a lot of boxes and look what they've done. They have a little finger cutout. This is such a great thing. It makes it really easy to open the box because so many companies don't do that, and I just struggle with these boxes. So right off the bat, before we even open the box, just getting to it being open shows that this company is paying attention and really cares. So inside there is a sort of open instruction manual, and it does a nice job of giving you all the key things you need quickly. Now, the idea is that there's this device, and we're going to put earbuds onto this, and then this is a microphone and little amplifier, and so with the help of the earbuds, I'll be able to hear everything around me better. But where this gets really interesting is that there's also a remote microphone. So this you could, for example, put in the middle of the table and a conversation, and now it's as if you had moved your head over there, so it's easier for you to hear things. This also means you can put it right by the television so you can hear the TV better. Not only that, but it actually has a 3.5 millimeter input jack, and it's one of the many wires they include, so you could plug this in to, for example, your computer monitor, and then use it wirelessly with this clipped to your shirt or something, and then you could listen to videos or movies or TV shows or even computer games without anyone else hearing them. So it's really pretty ingenious with this remote mic. Not only that, but this has a range of 30 meters or almost 100 feet, which means if you're with someone, you could clip this to them. Now you can hear as if you were standing right next to them, even if they go for a walk around the pond or something. So it's really pretty slick. Now, they're not going to hear you any better, but hopefully if they're just talking as they go, you'll be able to really get a better sense of what's going on. Now, inside, as you can see, there's a lot of wires and cables, but don't let that intimidate you. There is a USB-A to USB-C for charging, and that's something they both use, USB-C for charging. Super easy to work with. In terms of the timing, this runs 24 hours on a full charge, and it takes less than an hour for a full charge. And if you're really running out of battery, 10 minutes of charge will give you 6 more hours of use. And then there's that 3.5 millimeter cable that I was talking about. So that looks just like that. And that you can plug into the remote microphone and then plug it into an audio source. And then you can hear as if you were standing right next to that audio source. Such a great idea. That's 2 of the wires. Then there's a lanyard you can put on the unit to make it a little easier to carry. There is an adapter, so if you have an old TV, it might have what's known as RCA jacks, and you plug those in, and then that's a 3.5 millimeter adapter, so you could plug that into your TV, and then plug this into the remote microphone, and you are ready to roll with your wireless TV audio system. Simple, effective. And there's one more, and this is perhaps the most important, and these are the actual earbuds that you actually will connect to the receiver, to the main unit. And it comes with 2 more sizes, it looks like 3 more sizes of ear tips. So there's 4 sizes total, and they're just your regular earbuds, but perhaps with a slightly shorter wire because you don't need a long wire, because this is going to be on your person. So I plug that in. So now I'm mostly ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these on. And one of the classic problems you have with earbuds is which one goes in which ear. They have color coded it. So the red one goes in my right ear and the blue one goes in my left ear. So I really like that. I don't like to struggle and not know which is which. So I do this and I'm basically ready to go. So the next step is on the front, there is a button and I push and hold and it's power on, battery high. So I'm ready to go. And this is now operating as a microphone. If I don't want to do that and I want to use the remote microphone, then my first step is to use its power button. And it also has a light. So now it's ready to go. And all of a sudden I can hear myself talking pretty loud. So on this unit, and hang on, this is a little disconcerting. So on the bottom, and let me turn all the volume down. So there are two volume controls because you can adjust left and right volume separately. This has on one side, on the left side, you have left volume, and on the right side, you have right volume. There are 9 levels of volume, and you can adjust them differently. So if you have a lot of hearing loss in your left ear, but your right ear is fine, you can fine tune this so that it matches your actual hearing ability. And that's really, really cool. And then you can do the same thing. So in terms of the remote microphone unit, notice that it also has a little clip so you can clip it onto something, but I really like the idea of just putting it in a table where people are having a conversation. And I've tried this at a noisy coffee shop and stuff, and it's a pretty wild experience. It's very different. So if you have mild to severe hearing loss, this is kind of a game changer for you. And the fact that this is so small and modest, it would be very easy to put it adjacent to the person that you're talking to, and then you can just hear them better. And because they're closer to it, it will also help get rid of some of the environmental noise. They say that it's a 16 decibel environmental noise reduction. My experience was that the tone is so bright that I'm not sure I was getting 16 decibels of noise reduction, but it definitely made it easier for me to hear the person that I was talking to. Now, they also have 5 levels of tone adjustment, and you can do that pretty easily here on the bass unit, which makes it easier for you to say, there's too much high, and I want it to be a little less. So that's what I mean by brightness, and you can tweak that a little bit. So one of the things that's really important is there a time delay between these two devices? And that would be really important, because if it was like a second or two, it would be really disconcerting to see someone talk like this and then hear their words a second or two later. So the good news is that's not an issue. In fact, this has a remarkable 16 millisecond low latency. So it means you can also use it for obviously things like watching a TV show, and the audio you hear will stay in sync with the actual motion of the mouths of the people on the screen. So super helpful. So the remote mic, I already told you that it has a 30 meter or 98 foot range. It does have that 3.5 millimeter input jack, so you can use that with this wire plugged into anything that you want to plug it into. You could also use this just like this, and then, for example, if you're watching TV with the family, you just put this right by the sound bar, and then you can hear it louder than everyone else, but they don't know that, and it doesn't matter, because now you can all share that experience, and you're actually able to compensate for your own hearing loss, however mild or severe it may be. So let's see, what else can I tell you? That I gave you the charge specs. Take these off. I can give you size. So this unit is 2.3 inches by 1.4 inches by 6/10 of an inch thick. It does have a little clip, and on the bottom there's a slider switch that lets you change between having this be your microphone and having this be your microphone. Obviously, if you have it to remote microphone, make sure you have this turned on and that flashing green is telling me that this is not in remote microphone mode. So watch this when I switch. Let's see, it should, oh, I think I turned this one off. But when I switch it, it will go into a solid light. So there we go. So that flashing green has gone away to tell me that it's all good, that, you know, you're now hooked up. And of course you can hear it. It's pretty dramatic. When this thing turns on, you're like, oh, I can suddenly hear my environment, which is exactly what you want. So that's the dimensions on this. It's 23 grams. It is ridiculously light. In fact, if I just hold it like this, honestly, you kind of wonder if it's just the plastic casing and no circuitry inside. It's that light. It's absolutely something you can clip onto your blouse or shirt and you'll never know you have it on. And then in terms of this is 1.7 inches by 1.7 inches by 7/10 of an inch thick. And this is even lighter at 21 grams. So that's really everything. I really have found this an interesting experience. My hearing's generally pretty good, but I absolutely have problems in a loud environment if I'm talking to people. I was doing that this morning at a meeting, and it was just like I could see the person talking, but I couldn't hear their voice as differentiated from all the background noise. This really was a game changer. This made it easier for me. Now, obviously, Trihear is not designing a system that is absolutely invisible, but honestly, who cares? If you can hear better, that's so much more important than having it be an invisible wire and having all of your worries about your looks. So let that go. It's okay, because being able to hear better is going to be so much more of a win. This is everything that's in the box. It's really surprisingly easy to work with. I am confident that if you get this and you plug everything in and you give them all a charge, and of course you have to charge these separately because they are independent units, but then you're good to go for probably even like a couple of days. And then just, when it says charge low or please charge or something like that, then just go ahead and plug it in. That's USB-C, somewhere on here. There we go, USB-C. And in 30 minutes for each device, you're gonna be good to go. And give it a full hour on each one, or if you do it overnight or something, then you're gonna absolutely have another 24 hours of use. And that's using it for 24 hours. So probably you'll turn it off at times. If you're finally catching up on your favorite novel, then you don't need this stuff turned on. In fact, it's arguably better to have it turned off. That might be a function of how your family works. Anyway, so let's talk about the price, because that's also remarkably well priced for this category. So this whole setup is the Trihear Convo hearing enhancement system, and it is $199 at trihear.com. And if you don't like the idea of these earbuds, let's show you the other side too. If you don't like the idea of these earbuds, they also have what they call the Convo More, that gives you more of a traditional headphones. And then that's something that would be over your head and just sit on top of your ears. If you want to do that one instead, that's the Convo More, and that's $20 more. So it's not much of a bump up, but you can't just plug in your own earbuds or headphones because it's designed specifically for this. And that's also how you get that left and right adjustment. So really interesting, really great solution. I really like that hearing assistive devices are getting to be over the counter, more affordable, easier to work with, and a lot easier to acquire. So that's everything I got. I hope this was helpful, and I will catch you in my next video.